everyone, how's it going? Welcome to Smartcast Streams. This is week 4 of May Mayhem, the last week of the $1 million prize competition. So, if you don't already know, Gala Games did a huge competition and mixed things up a bit and gave away or had $1 million worth of prizes for the month of May, split into 4 different weeks, so $250,000 per week for 4 weeks. And this is the last week of those 4. And this week, the special product or resource whereby special bonus points are given for selling that product are pumpkin pies. You get 6 times the amount of points when selling pumpkin pies. So everyone is pretty much doing pumpkin pies, and I'd say the top 200, if not 300, are mainly doing pumpkin pies at the moment in order to earn those huge amounts of points in the millions. As you can see, I've got just over 16 million points in the top right hand corner over here. This is the amount of points I've got with just about 6 hours left in this competition until we conclude the last week of May Mayhem. And it's gone pretty well. This is the first time that I've done a pumpkin pie production town layout, so I'm quite happy with it. It was a bit tricky to start with. I had a rough start. I didn't play too much in the first 2 days. I kind of went with my usual grape setup and just accumulated a lot of cash that way before I transitioned into my pumpkin production layout. So if you haven't watched one of my other videos, do have a look at the grape rush video, and you will see kind of like how I started, how I got into the grape rush at the very beginning, and what my town may have looked like by the end of the first 6 or 10 hours or so. But that's what I did to begin with. Went for grape rush, collected a lot of cash because if you don't already know, for this week in the competition, when you do sell pumpkin pies, you don't get any cash reward for it. So for example, if I go here, click on sell pumpkin pies, you will see I get 0 cash in return for selling that product. But if you sell sugar or grapes, then you get some money in return. So if all you're selling your pumpkin pies this week, then you would have no income essentially to pay your workers' wages, which for myself personally, they cost 7,230 per minute. So I needed that surplus cash. And halfway through, I kind of realized I would have ran out of cash. So I needed these additional grapevines to produce about 10 grapes every 8 minutes or so, and that would sustain my village and my workers' salary going forward until the end of the competition. Theoretically, I could have cut down on the amount of grapes, but I decided to just leave it as is. I wasn't going to climb in the rankings much further by increasing the production of pumpkin pies. So one thing to bear in mind when doing pumpkin pie production are the pumpkins themselves. They require 20 water to start producing pumpkins. So if we have a look here, it says 13 out of 20 water. So what I've done is I've created quite a few ponds, but not too many. I think it's important to find that right balance, because if you create so many ponds around your pumpkins, you will not have enough space to have a lot of pumpkins. And when I think about it, it can be quicker to have a lot of wind pumps around and a lot of tractors to take the water to the pumpkins, rather than having a load of ponds around and not too many pumpkins. And I think it's far more efficient, and you would be able to produce more pumpkins, trying to find that right balance between the ponds and the amount of water pumps. So these pumpkins do get completed with 20 water quite quickly if you have a lot of tractors. So for example, this one has 9 out of 20 water. I'm sure within the next 20 to 30 seconds, it's going to have the full 20 water. So it doesn't take long at all for the pumpkins to receive the required amount of water they need in order to grow properly. And the timer is quite long. It's about 5 minutes, 5 minute timer to produce these pumpkins. So you do need to have them growing at a rapid pace and constantly receiving the water. So if you have a look here, it's about to hit the 20 out of 20 water, and that did not take long at all, did it? And there goes the timer, 5 minutes, and it's in the green. So it's also important to bear in mind it's not a good idea having these pumpkins within shade or pollution, because the timer is going to double to 10 minutes. So do try and keep them in the green, away from the shade. For example, the wind pumps, they produce one shade for the tile around them. So that's why I don't have any pumpkins around the wind pumps. I could have had a wind pump here next to the grapevine, but I went with a well to not create another shade tile for this tile here, because this one is affected by the windmill. Windmills, keep in mind they create 3 shade from the windmill, so 1, 2, 3. So this tile here has 1 shade effect. This one has 2 shade effect, 3 shade effect, because you always got to count 3 from the windmill. But I think I've found the right balance regarding the windmills to produce my sugar. So all of the windmills here are producing the sugar for the pumpkin pie. So if we have a quick look at the pumpkin pie recipe, it requires 10 pumpkins, 10 sugar, and 5 eggs to produce 1 pumpkin pie. So there's quite a lot of resources and material required for 1 pumpkin pie, but it is worth it in regards to the points. So if we just have a look here and sell the 10 pumpkins, or pumpkin pies. Let's get that going. So my points here are at 16,334,000. If we just get that cash, so 334,000. It is about 82,000 points, if my math is correct. So around about 82,000 points just by selling 10 pumpkin pies, which is not bad. That's where the 10 times amount of points comes into play, and it's really effective. Let me just sell these 10 grapes, so otherwise my storages get full, my silos get filled up quite quickly. So if I just have a look at the rankings, I'm sure you'll be interested to find out where I am this week during the last week of May Mayhem. I am around rank 30, which is pretty good. I think this is one of the best ranks I've achieved so far. So I'm really happy with what I have achieved, especially with the late start I had. So I may have been able to do better, who knows? And this is without any useful NFTs. So you may have seen I've got the Express Depot truck. So I am a Gala Games Gold member, and with that Gold membership, you do get a depot truck, well, an Express Depot truck to sell your goods instead of the regular the regular transport truck. But that really isn't beneficial in terms of helping me produce more pumpkin pies. But if I had some of the other cool NFTs like the um, sugarcane stand or the wheat stand, so I don't have to produce my wheat fields. I could just have like a wheat stand somewhere around here to automatically fill up my feed mills with wheat. That would save me some space for other things here and there. So I'm quite impressed with what I've achieved without any useful kind of resource NFTs. I think that's quite good, and it just shows that anyone who doesn't have any NFTs, even if you don't have the Express Depot truck, you could have achieved exactly what I have achieved here today. You just need to kind of figure out how to make things efficient, finding that right balance, whether it's kind of maintaining the salary wages or trying to make things more efficient to produce more of the products you are targeting, or what your main goal is in terms of your production, whether it's the pumpkin pies or whatever other resource you may be wanting to sell. But I've just kind of chucked all my kind of workers' houses and logger houses and cakeries and wimbles and so on, all in this location here. It's not pretty. It's not really there for aesthetic purposes. All it does is serves a kind of area for them to just have their houses, and I don't need it to look good, but it's just there. So I don't really care about making this part of the town look nice or efficient with roads and so on. But it is what it is. All I needed was to have my gas production in place to produce the amount of gas. I could have gone with maybe um, 2 oil pumps instead of three, because I do find I am making too much gas, and I do find I do sell 10 gas sometimes just to bring it down to 26, get a bit more cash in my hands. So it's you can play around with it, but this isn't really a layout which I will probably repeat again unless Gala Games did the exact same competition for the pumpkin pies and uh, and had the bonus points associated with pumpkin pies. Also, one thing to note with windmills, if you do have them in a cluster here, then they are going to take a long time to produce your sugar. You can see the timers are in the red. They take a very long time to produce the amount of sugar they need. See, 4 minute timer for this windmill just to produce one sugar. Whereas if we look at this one here, it takes 30 seconds. So you've got to kind of figure out how you're going to place your windmills. I decided to just have two windmills with the green timer with a 30-second production rate for sugar, and have the rest all clumped up here in a corner. You just have to kind of figure out how you want to have your town layout, and how you want everything sorted out. And also you've got to be careful not to have your buildings with the which produce a lot of shade for a greater distance. So, for example, the storehouse and the ATV house, they just produce a shade for one tile, so they don't affect the tree farm over here or the sugarcane field. Of course, these fields, these trees, they do take a long time to create wood because of these windmills. Remember, they've got windmills have a three-tile wind or shade block. So one, two, three. So they create the shade up until this row here. That's why you'll see this timer is in the yellow. So these are all green. There's no shade block around here. So I've got around 20 tractors doing all my bidding, collecting water and watering the pumpkin patches, and also collecting the sugarcane from the sugarcane fields. So they are doing a lot of work, as well as collecting the wheat from the wheat field. The ATVs are to collect the wheat and put it into the feed mill, and from the feed mill it goes into the trough for my chickens to feed off the trough and produce eggs. And from there the eggs go into the storehouse, and my cakery workers collect the eggs from the storehouse, and they also collect the sugar within the storehouse and the pumpkins within the silo to produce those beautiful, tasty pumpkin pies. I'm not too sure what else I can give you. It is, or I thought it was one of the more complicated ingredients or products to make. I know blue steel was also a very complicated week for people during May Mayhem. I think that was week 3. No, it was week 2, I think, blue steel. And Pinot Noir wine was week 3, and week 4 pumpkin pies. This was quite difficult to find that right balance, mainly because the pumpkins required 20 water, and I'd never done it before. So figuring out this layout for the pumpkins was a bit tricky for me, and also getting to terms with what would be quicker, having more ponds or having more wind pumps producing water. And if I was going to go for more wind pumps, then of course I need a lot more tractors to constantly take the water from the wind pumps and throw it over the pumpkin patch to water them and get it up to the 20 water required. But as you can see, I think I found the right balance, because all of these pumpkins, you can see they are in the green, including this very last one. So they've got no more pumpkins to water apart from this one right now, and then this one. So I think I've got the right balance to keep on churning over those pumpkins at a quick rate. I think somehow I found the right balance, as well as the sugarcane. My sugarcane normally stays around 3 or 4, sometimes goes up to 10 or 12 and then back down. It does vary, but I don't think it goes down to 0 that often. Well, just then it has, but there's pretty much a constant supply of sugarcane, which is quite good. And I'm overproducing on my sugar, really. So my cakeries normally have more sugar than they do pumpkin. See, 0 pumpkin, but 5 sugar, 5 out of 5 eggs. And it'll probably be same for the rest. 10 sugar, still requiring 5 pumpkin. So I am producing more sugar than pumpkin, but it just is what it is at the moment, I think. So this is my town, and this is what has helped me achieve rank 30. I've been around the low 30s for the majority of the past 2 days. I think 3 days into the competition, I got to rank 40 to 30, somewhere around the mid 30s, low 30s, and I've just been hovering around this area. Essentially, I've been unable to get to the top 10. I don't have the tools required, you could say, to get into the top 10 and fight for first place. It's just one of those things, essentially. But not to worry. I think that the majority of the top 10 all have useful NFTs helping them out, like the sugarcane stand or the wheat stand, or some other NFTs like the crane bots or the elf bots, which take the sugarcane to the windmills and the sugar. I'm not too sure if they take the sugar from windmills to the storage, but who knows? Only they do essentially. Only they'll know. I would love to start playing with some Townstar NFTs just to get an idea as to how they all work and how to kind of um, increase my kind of efficiency within the town and take my town layouts to a whole new level, because that can only really be done with NFTs, and you can only really fight for the top 10 spots if you have these NFTs helping you out and giving you that extra advantage over everyone else. But you can still rank very high within competitions without NFTs. You definitely can, and I've proven you can. Ranking in the top 50 gets you quite a bit of money in the May Mayhem $1 million prizes. So for 11 to 49, the prize is $1,500. Position 2 to 10 or $5,000, and position 1 is $10,000. $1,500 is pretty good for my performance. I'm happy with that. If you've got any questions, or you would like to see a different layout, or me producing a particular resource which you would want to kind of know how to do, what sort of layout I would go for, then just drop a comment below, and I'll look to create a video for that and see if I can help you guys out. I think it's really beneficial that we are able to collaborate and throw ideas across and maybe improve each other's towns. But I do know this is a competition, and you do win money. So I do understand the hesitation for people from people to kind of share their towns and share their layouts and kind of share their strategy as to how they do rank high. And that's fine. That's part of the game. It's part of this competition. Um, but I do like producing this content, and I hope you guys appreciate it as well. And if you are new to Townstar, or haven't joined the Gala Games community, and haven't played Townstar before, it is a very fantastic game. Um, it is a strategic game. You've got to understand the game mechanics, and it can be a lot of fun. It is time consuming, but what isn't? And you do win real money. So when this May Mayhem comes to an end in approximately 6 hours, then it'll go back to the normal weekly competition where the prizes are vastly reduced, but it's still good fun, and you still get to make some money while playing it. And that's always a positive and a benefit to playing games, isn't it? Anyway, if you aren't playing Townstar and you would like to join, my referral link is below. And do remember to like it if you found this video was useful to you and beneficial. And if you enjoyed my town, it's a bit messy, but it seems to have worked for me. And do please subscribe to my channel for new videos and to be alerted as to when I produce or publish a new video. Anyway, I'll catch you fellow Townstar players another time. Until next time, take care of yourself. Bye.